So it's training for Team Opulent and is it Team Opulence? Yes. And Team Nova. No, it's not.
Team
Is it
Opulent Synergy. I know, I've got a mental name. Team Opulent Synergy.
Okay. Anyway, it is Wednesday, the 5th of September. Um, so tonight I just wanted to go over, I think the next step, we've kind of been taking this in steps, I think, as we've gone along the last few weeks. And I wanted to go over inviting and not only how to invite, but why we need to invite. So people, I guess you don't really understand for the newbies, the importance of our events. So they're the lifeline of our business, they're the bloodline. We don't have a business without those events. That's the way people see what we do, and it's really cool for them to be able to see their leaders and whoever brings them into the business on an event. So it's why it's important. We could always just send out a recording to of Adam and Kira or Linda. There's plenty of them, but it's not duplicating. That's not you learning the business or duplicating that, passing it on either. So the whole reason that Jana and I I've joined up with Jana. She's been doing it own for a while. The reason I've joined up and started doing an event with Jana is to grow my business again and to teach my girls how to do the events, and then eventually that when they get their own team, that is then to be passed on, and then they know what they're doing. They've had to practice with us, and we've duplicated that, and they've learnt how to do their event on their own, and then they go off and start doing their own. And that's the power of duplication and the power of this business. Eventually then Jana and I can step back and not have to do events. We can just be guest speakers and stuff like she is for Stacey now. So, it's really, really important to always invite to those events every week. And you don't want to look like, you don't want to get on an event and be, they don't realise that we're probably all team either, but you don't want to just see like 4 or 5 people on an event. You want it to look, really exciting that everybody's on this event. So it's important for everybody every week to be inviting at least one, like to have at least one person on there. That's, I guess you got to invite at least 5, I guess, to probably get the one on an event. So I guess that's just the importance of those events and why we need to really keep doing that and keep building that up. You don't go anywhere without sharing an event. That's how people see what the business is all about. So they don't understand if they don't have these recordings to watch or the events to jump on, and the business stops growing because then everyone stops learning how to do it. Otherwise we wouldn't all keep doing it, and sometimes you'll get on, and I remember when I first started, I was like, oh, do I have to hear this person's story again? Like, I just heard this last night, I've heard that 3 times this week, and I wasn't quite sure why I was listening to this. But you want to know everyone's stories as well, okay? So you want to hear them over and over, and you want to know their stories, because it's people's stories that get people interested in this business. It might not be your story, but you might have a story to share. Especially for those people that are just starting. You don't have a big story yet. You don't have the big success story. You don't have maybe a cool product story. It's other people's stories that you need to share. There's always a testimonial or a story out there that can relate to something. So you want to listen to everyone's stories. You want to know where they've come from and what the business has done for them. So yes, you're probably going to get sick of hearing mine and Jana's stories over and over, but that's part and parcel, right? We know Adam's story inside out. We know Lauren's story inside out. When people ask, we can tell you what they were doing, when they were doing it, what they were eating for dinner, pretty much. So, and again, that's just, that's the way you're going to learn. Until you can repeat something back to someone, until you can teach someone, I don't think you really know anything yourself. I like to do that. I know once I can teach it to my team, I really know what I'm doing then. That's when it's finally sunk in, and I can relay that back to my team, and that's how I learn, by teaching that and passing things on. So it's always about learning, guys, and growing, and always being on an event. It's about being consistent and showing up for your team. Even if you don't have anyone on, being there for your team, showing support. Sorry, and I'm rambling about events, but I just think we really need to amp it up and make sure everybody's on every week and get those, invites out. And the other thing is then when you get them on. So this is where I asked everyone, could they print out the sheet if they could see that this afternoon. I don't know if everybody's seen it. I didn't do it until late. I was away all day. But that is a great way. Yeah, Peter's got hers. It's a great way to tell your story. So even before you launch your business, it'd be great if you could have a little bit of idea. I know Kylie's was Kylie got this, and her share on her first launch was amazing. You want to break your story up. You don't want to ramble on with unnecessary bits. You really want to look at that sheet. Jana, can you screen share it now for me, babe, please? This gives you the what's it called? Like I don't know, teaches you how to do it anyway. It's all there set up for you. You literally just have to fill this in and practice. Your story, your personal story, really, Adam and Linda are now saying it shouldn't take more than a minute. You don't want to, blueprint for it. Thank you, Peter. Something like that's what I was trying to find. So, you've got your, what does this say? Think about these questions and fill in the blanks below. What was life like before you started eating Juice Plus? So this is the business, the product part of it. Okay. I'm just reading it myself. So I was going off the business one, but obviously very good to have a product story, guys. It's simply how we always teach you. So what was going on with you before? We don't want to hear, people don't want to hear, oh, I had 15 different things wrong with me and this was wrong with me and then I took Juice Plus and everything was fixed, because that's not the case. You want to obviously say, you want to tell people your story. You want to tell them that you weren't healthy, you had a few health issues, what was going on with that, and what you've noticed since. Not that it's just fixed you, it's not a miracle pill. We've got to be really careful that we don't advertise it as one, even though we know it does some pretty cool things. Then you go on and say, but what I've found since starting the program, the product, is, my skin has cleared up or whatever it is. But you just got to try not to ramble too much. A good way to do this is to try and record it yourself. And if you're going over a minute or 2 minutes max, you know that it's probably getting too much. Especially when we're launching, a lot of people, I think people start losing a little bit of focus and they're not listening as much. So if you can try and keep your story really to the point, it's going to be much more effective, and people are going to be like, oh, that, her story was amazing. So there's the pain, the lesson, the opportunity, and the triumph. Okay, so this is about the business. This is what I love, and this is what I think everybody can always practice sharing this a bit better. I even sometimes ramble with mine and get mine all confused if I don't do it in this order, so I know it definitely works. So pain. I'm just going to give you guys examples of mine. Then if somebody wants to read these out, that'd be awesome. If not, that's okay. So pain. I used to work full time as a mum. I was, a single mum, but I was struggling a lot. The problem was I used to work, but I had to pay daycare fees. All my money was going on childcare fees. I could never get in front. The opportunity came into my life. I realised that I might be able to, actually make some extra money around the kids without putting them in daycare even more. So I then, realised that the business, I'm just kind of just touching on this, guys. I'm not really getting right into it. I fell in love with it. I realised I could help so many more people doing this, and I could actually stay at home with my kids. After 6 months, I was able to stay home. I'm now a QNMG. I'm celebrating, I live the life I want to live, basically. I'm at home every day with my kids. We travel. We do what we want. If you want to make it a bit more fancy and elaborate than that, but not dribbling on. Straight to the point, pretty direct. Is there anyone that did fill it in or would like to kind of just go over their story, just a little bit of practice, or wants to share? Anyone going to be brave? No? No one? Okay, that's all right. But so that sheet there is
I couldn't change anything while I was sharing the screen, and I couldn't unmute myself.
That's all right.
Sure, there's someone in here that would want to do it. I don't have a great product one, but I can do mine. Mine's very similar to yours, except for where am I guess, so you can.
And you'll notice when Jana and I tell our stories that is the way that they're always. It might change up a little bit about what we're doing or how we got there or whatever, but the moral of the story is still the same. I was single mum working, trying to do the head, found the business, 6 months I was able to stop working, now work from home. You add a little bit more in there to keep them interested, but that's, I realised this could help me quite quick. Really got back on my feet. That's the point of the story. Jana's she was working, I can tell you Jana's story because I listen to everyone's stories. Jana was working in a government job, working her ass off, working 12, I don't know about 12 hours a day, but pretty much. Her kids in daycare all the time. She wasn't seeing her husband or her kids. Realised very quickly, I think 6 months, Jans, she was able to cut back to part-time.
Oh, yeah, no, 4.
4 months.
And then 10 are left.
Yeah, part-time. She just thought part-time was she was happy to do that. Then in 10 months, she was earning enough, she could actually quit. She knew she was going to make more by staying home. So, yeah, getting to the point pretty direct, but sharing that's powerful in the middle. People want to know. They really, really want to hear your pain, and they want to hear how you fix the pain. They don't really care how it started or much about how it ended. It's that middle bit that you've got to really emphasize. They want to know the pain that you're in because that's what they're going to relate to, and they want to know how you fix it because that's what they want. Yeah.
Can I just ask a question? Should we have a separate business one and a separate product one, or should we combine the two? Or
I generally try to keep mine separate. I don't have a really cool product story. I love the product. I feel so much better. But I didn't have big health issues. I didn't really have that bad of a skin. My skin wasn't that bad. I just noticed little things, but I know myself. I feel much better. I know that I'm doing the right thing for my body. I don't really get sick or anything like that since I've been on it. But I didn't have a really cool story. But I can add it in, that the product to me made sense, which is totally because I don't eat fruit and I hardly eat salad. So, and you know that, Peter, I've been a total eater my whole life.
Yeah.
So, the product just made sense to me. It was great. I felt amazing taking it, so why wouldn't I want to share it? But generally, you're talking to people about one thing or another. If you obviously once they're talking to you about the business and they want to know about the product, then you go into it. But this is generally just like on an event share, or really quickly people are asking you what you do for a job. What do you do? What's your online business? I usually just say I coach and train other mums how to create an income online. And they're like, oh, what does that involve? And that's when you usually ask to, are you on Facebook, or I can show you what it's all about. Jana, do you want to touch a little bit on that? What do you do? Because I do get a little bit tongue-tied sometimes still when people ask me, but what do you do when you coach mums online? And I do explain that I've got an online business. I've worked it to a level now where I just coach and train other mums and I show them how to do what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think I was mixed up in for some time on what my niche was. So I'm really always working towards the working families because that's where I've come from. So I always just say, look, I just coach and mentor other, mums and dads really to make an income from home. I'm really passionate about helping people create what I've created. I had no idea there was such a thing out there, and I've got to give myself a pat on the back because I wasn't doing that. I didn't realize how much I've succeeded. I'm no longer at my job. I'm present in my children's life, and now I want other people to see this amazing opportunity and have that, passed on to them.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
But never. I mean, Adam says it perfectly every friggin' time, and I still don't remember it because it just doesn't obviously sit right with me because I'm not him. And I don't know if you guys saw that live today, but how it was so good because he just went over in quite detail how extrovert he is compared to he's very introvert. And they could be sitting on a plane and Kira will put herself in a bubble and hope that nobody will talk to her, whereas Adam will probably walk up and down the plane and friend about 10 people. Like, that's how different they are, and it's amazing. And that's how he talks, and how he talks to people in a cafe, how he talks to anyone. He could do that. And even I forgot the guy's name that they were talking to, but he said he could do that, but he chooses not to.
Yeah, Simon Chan says that. Simon Chan hopes that he doesn't get people sit beside him when he's on the plane because he knows then he has to take up that opportunity to talk to them. So he just hopes and prays that he doesn't get anyone beside him so he can just be quiet the whole time.
Yeah.
But yes, Kira and Adam are very, very opposite in that area. Adam doesn't shut up. and he will literally talk to anybody about anything. And Kira would just rather like chill out on her own. And yeah, I'm kind of in the middle. Sometimes I'm Adam, sometimes I'm Kira. I definitely have a bit of both of them in me. But what were we talking about? I feel like I just went really off track. Just sharing your story, why it's important, because that's what people want to hear. They're going to buy your story, right? They want to know that there's a way for them to get out of their pain situation, to get out of what it is that's dragging them down. And I guess that was the other thing that I said, Jans, I was going to touch on, was working out your verbiage when you're talking to people, when you're inviting them to the events. That's what I wanted to really go over. So people don't want to hear that you've got a great business and they should come and do that. They don't know why they want to do that. We need to show them why they should do it, not why you're doing it, or, well, I mean, yes, why you're doing it, but that's not always the reason that they should do it. You know, so you want to find out how it can help them. I mean, this business can help anybody, really, but people don't see that. They don't always see what we see. So you want to try and help them see that. You want to help them see the vision, help them get that picture, that the same thing that you got, you know, that exciting feeling that you got, that this could actually be something for you. And that little, I know sometimes we're scared, but all of us, I think, inside secretly have that little, the butterflies and the exciting feeling of, you know, maybe I can dream again. But, you know, this could be the way I could do these things. And it definitely can be. You know, you're allowed to have that. You should all have that. And so we want to, you know, find out why they want, why they're saying they don't want it is a really good one. Linda always says that they're, what's the word? They're the things that they're putting out to you, like their objections, are usually the answer. So when they're saying, oh, like, I don't have time, that's why they do business, because they are time poor. They don't have time to spend with their family probably either, or their kids. That's why they need this, so they can cut back on work. I don't have enough money. That's why they need this business, because they need this business to help them make money. Oh, I don't think I would be good enough. Obviously, they don't have much of confidence. They don't do much personal development. That's why they need this business. Pretty much everything, every excuse you can think of is a reason that you should have this business. And we need to get that. We need to find that, why they don't want, you know, what's their objection and what's their pain. So just, you know, a prime example of like an invite. You want to, you know, you always want to do the, if I sent you this, would you watch this? But before that, you want to, you know, you're having your conversations, and you know, you're starting to maybe approach the business side with them. And you know, you say it's, I'm just going to use myself as an example. You know, I was a single mom. Lauren didn't take a second to say, you know, I don't know if this would really be for you or not, but I know that it has helped a lot of other single moms. You know, this could really, you know, I'd love to show what this could be for you. You want to show them what it can do for them, not what it, you know, not what it can do for you in particular. If you've got the same stories, then great. But there's plenty of other stories out there that will be the same, that, you know, that you can use. Like Jana's story is different to mine. Adam's story is different to ours. Lauren's story is different to all of ours. She's not a mum. You know, she's a young girl that wants to travel. What better way than having a business like this, you know, travel the world and just work on your phone. God, I wish I was 20 again and I had this business. Like, I would not be in the country, you know, I would be everywhere. This would be the best thing ever. You know, Adam was a traditional business owner who he did work over 12 hours a day. He was never home, Kira. That's why he needed this business. And that's what we need to find. You know, they say, I can't do it, don't have the time. That's why they need it. That's what you need to show them. You don't need to be pushy about it. You just need to say, you know, if I could show you a way to make that work, would you be interested? You know, could you work with 10 minutes a day? Would that, you know, would you be able to give me 10 minutes a day? Would that work? I can make it work if you can make it work. The money, there's always, you know, let's try and help you get a promotion first before we even sign you up. Make sure you help them find some customers or something before they even, you know, hand over the money for the franchise fee. That way they're going to get their first bonus straight, you know, it's going to go straight back to their bank It's guaranteed. There's always ways around it, guys. And I think just making sure we're really asking the questions, asking some really good quality questions when we're inviting, and having those conversations at the start as to why they would want to do something like this. Once you know your why, you got that stake in the ground, you can always come back to that. Always.
Jane,
Lauren, yeah.
I've got a couple. I've had an influx because I got on some stupid post that was put out and I got so much come in, but I can read you a couple. So also, obviously, sometimes you get so many all at once and you want to be connecting with them and you're trying your hardest to, be everything for all these beautiful people coming in, but sometimes you've just got to keep to a format to get all the answers out as well. So I had a whole heap come through in the last 2 days. So this is how my steps went through for pretty much all of them. So they've all come in from an ad that they've seen, and then they've followed a link over just to come check out what I do. And I've sort of responded like, hi Caitlin, it's lovely to connect with you on here. I'd love to know a little bit about you and what's got you interested. And then I put a piece of fruit in my name. I always try and make it look a little bit, without it looking like I'm hard, like I'm really working hard for it. Then they write back and just, hi, I'm a first-time mum, currently working 3 days a week in childcare. I have a 4-month-old baby girl. I'd love to work from home so I can spend more time with my family, but I really need something that I'd really love to do and something that will pay the bills. I'd love to learn more about what your company does and how I would contribute to it. And then I've sort of gone back to her going, no, hun, I don't blame you. Being home with your beautiful creations is what it's all about. And I sort of I missed the boat with that at the beginning, but now I've had this opportunity to do so. Our company is amazing, but our team culture and women tribe is what makes it truly it's wonderful before. Oh, no, I used amazing twice in the one sentence, as you do. Is health and social media something that interests you? And she's wrote back, yeah, very interested, live, breathe social media, and I've always loved health. And I'm going, really? That's wonderful. I'd love to show, so for me, this was a day, on a Monday. I don't want to wait till Thursday to get them on an event. So I'm just like, that's wonderful to hear. I'd love to send you a recording. If I sent you it, would you have time to watch it? Yes, thank you. And then I always write something like this back. Wonderful, hun. This will give you a bit of an idea of what I do. I have friend requested you so you can get to know me a little bit better, see how I do business. I'll follow up with you Thursday, which is 2 days later. And then I pop the event in there and I wrote enjoy, and that's it. And then I leave it and I follow them up 2 days later. And that's pretty much what I did for all 16 inquiries.
Awesome. And how many links did you send out, Jans? Out of 16 inquiries?
Out of 16, I've sent out 8.
Awesome. That's great. And see, Jana, like what we spoke about last week, I think the follow-up, Jana's putting in there, she's given herself permission to contact her again. Jana's always saying, I'll be back in touch in 2 days. So you're not bugging them. You've got permission then to go back and follow up and do that as many times, as we spoke about previously. I don't have a great deal else to go over around that. I think I've kind of just rambled a lot and everyone's probably sick of hearing me. Does anyone have any questions? Or Deb is on and so is Jana. Can you guys add any more around this? Come on, Deb, old, wise, wonderful one.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice of you. I actually only just got on, so I feel like the vein of the conversation was around the your reach outs and stuff, but I'm not sure what you touched on before that.
Basically just making sure that we are inviting properly and having those conversations around them and why they would want to be, why they would want to come on board. Not so much about us unless our story resonates with them, but yeah, just finding their pain and then helping them find a solution for that.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that was brought up in Linda's training a couple of weeks ago. I watched the recording the other day and it was all about your posture and talking about them and making it about them and not you. And I have in times come from a place, not desperation because I didn't feel desperate, but I was definitely focused on the outcome. And I think in the messages that I've been sending out the last week and 2 weeks since I've watched that, it's been in a different vein, a different feel altogether. I think that we've got to remember we've got the gift for them. It's not the gift. They haven't got the gift for us. We don't need them. You know, there's plenty of other fish in the sea. And so that's definitely changed my thought process the last couple of weeks. And it's made them a bit easier to send the messages to, because I haven't been waiting for them to reply. And I think that was the only thing that I would have added, is that just let go of the outcome. And probably the other thing is that when you are sending these messages and you're making it about them, is don't just sit on the couch and send the messages, you know, because you've got to tick a box and get it done. It's about setting the state, making sure you feel like you're in the right headspace for a start, you know. I find that in the morning I feel the best, so I send them in the morning. By the time I get home from work at night, I'm a bit whacked. You know, so it's a bit more difficult for me to be in the right frame of mind. So just setting it up so that you're setting yourself up to win, I guess.
Yeah, awesome. And I think Ange Simpson touched on that the other day a little bit too, about getting yourself in the right mindset before you even do any messages, you know, and just being positive and putting, you know, great, I'm going to get this team here, they're going to be great, but you're also putting the vibe out that they're going to want this as much as you want it. So you're not just attracting every Tom, Dick and Harry, you're attracting really good quality team. And there was something at the start that you just said, Deb, that I wanted to go over. Oh, Linda's training, yeah. So that's right. It's about leading from the heart, right? And wanting to help them, making it all about them, not yourself, that's it, not worrying about the end result. Falling in love with the process, as Adam has always told us, fall in love with that process over and over again. Have conversations, put them in a three-way. Have conversations, get them in a three-way. It's the only way that you're going to get the end result that you want, if you're doing the work and doing that over and over again, and not being focused on the outcome.
Sorry, Jay. Can I just say the other thing that I don't know if it might help a couple of you other girls, is that I've been, you know, the conversations that I've been having, I've allowed them to go on a little bit too long without offering them that. I've been kind of, you know, we're told to be friends collectors, and I do love that. I do love that thought of not having to be prospecting, but I'd rather be just getting to know people and, you know, making new friends and stuff. But what I found was I was getting stuck in that then. And in fact, what I needed to do was be a little bit more direct, or not direct, but if I felt like it was the right time, not be afraid to offer it, because we are talking about their pains, and that's, you know, essentially you're trying to get to know them enough that you can hear from them what's upsetting them and where you can help. If you don't hear that, then you've got no right to offer the business or the product. But if you do hear it, then I guess what I think is that I needed, and Adam brought this up to me, he said, you know, just give yourself a limit of 2 or 3 conversations, or 2 or 3 backwards and forwards, because I was like, oh shit, then it got too far into the conversation and I felt like I didn't have the right to offer it anymore. So I think, you know, when we're collecting friends and building rapport and you know, making connection, but at the same time, don't let it go too long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's why in my message, by the third one, I always sort of aim to make sure I'm friends with them, that they're watching that recording, I friended them. I can spend my lifetime becoming their friend. They're going to be my prospect until the rest EDF, let's face that. So I've got plenty of time to get to know them. I just need to know the first bits and bits, you know, those first bones of their journey so far, and their wants and their pains, I guess, so I can then offer them this, friend them, and then keep helping them on from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. And just always leading from the heart, and always thinking about how you can help them, not help yourself, not thinking about, oh my God, I need this one more teaming to get to, you know, SC, or I need a teaming for SC. I know it's hard to do, but you need to just think about ways you can help them, and it's always going to fall into place. If you're actually going out there leading with your heart and trying to find people that you can actually help, not that are going to come into the business to help you, I think it's always going to flow and have that flow-on effect, and they're just going to kind of come to you. They're going to feel that. They're going to know that you're being genuine. Some people are just dicks. They're never going to get it, right? You can't help that. It's just the way it is, and it's usually the ones that we really, really want to help, and that you really, really want to get on board, that just don't get it. They're happy living their miserable, shitty lives, so just let them go. we have to just, I guess, accept that we can't help them, and that, you know, we can't help everyone. So it's just the way it is. And I think Luke Moran told us that you can't fix stupid. So just move on. And I've loved that ever since he said that. I was just like, yep.
Sorry, Jade. The other thing that I was chatting to Katrina Stark the other day at a luncheon we went to, and she said something that really resonated with me. Like, she just said, you know, because I've got a couple of those people, you know, that are forever wanting it but never signing on the dotted line, so to speak. And she just said, be okay with them. Like, be okay with saying to them, you know, now's not your time. You know,
Yeah.
like, I get it's give them an out, or kind of make it feel like you're not shutting the door on them, but, you know, they're not.
You don't need them.
No, that's right. And I guess the other thing is to put a little timeline on it. Look, mate, I love that we're connected through this business, or that, you know, we've chatted and got back in touch through the business. But, you know, this month I've only got the time to work with 3 people, and you know, so I just need to know, do you want me to touch base with you this month, or would you rather it was next month? And so they can say, oh yeah, no, not right now.
Yeah,
do you know what I
gives
mean?
them an out. They don't feel like a shitty person or a shitty friend.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very right. And I find that, and it also creates a bit of urgency.
Yeah.
You know, creating urgency is the best thing, whether it's around, you know, end of month with products and stuff. It's always really good, but it's also good with the business. And I usually say that if I'm putting out an ad, or if I've actually just done it. I got a 3-way call lined up with Adam this week, because I told her, I said, you know, I'm only taking on 3 people this month. She was interested in the business last month, and she couldn't watch the link, couldn't do this, that, but she seemed quite interested anyway. So I just let her know. I said, look, it's a new month. I want to take on 3 new people and coach them, but I want to be able to make sure I'm doing it properly. I'd love you to be one of those 3. I'd love to get you started. Is there any way we can get you to watch this link and stuff? And she watched it today, and I've already got it in a 3-way chat. I'm going to have a call with Adam this week. So I think, you know, it really works, creating that urgency and making it you pick who you want to work with, right? And letting them know that you're not just, they can't just kind of string you along and do whatever they want. They want it or they don't, and that's okay if they don't. And I think you don't want to come across as desperate, that you need every single teamie that's there, because we don't want every single teamie that's out there, guys. They're not always going to be the best for your business.
Yeah. One of those girls.
So that urgency.
One of those girls out of that 16, one of those girls out of that 16, she more or less replied going back, oh, I'm not interested now, you haven't even told me what it's about. And I said, hun, you haven't responded to my message. I just asked, you know, how are you? You know, tell me a little bit about you. What got you interested about my ad? I said, so, you know, this is all about connection for me. It's up to me who I work with. If you don't want to connect with me, that's fine. I guess it's for you. But, you know, can I ask out of interest what it was that got you interested in my ad? Haven't got a response. don't.
And they're probably the people that you don't want to have in your business.
Yeah.
You've had one of them, Jana.
Yeah.
We've all had one of them. We don't want really people like that in your business. Like, who wants to really work with somebody that's going to be like that anyway? So it doesn't matter. I don't really have much else to go on. What about you, Johns?
No, you've done amazing. It was great. I think that's it.
Well, I hope some of it was helpful.
I think, Tash, have you got a question, Tash?
Yeah, I do. I'm just writing in my conversations when I get them started and say pretty much exactly what Jana said. I'd love to know a bit more about you and what caught your interest. People don't really tell me what caught their interest or anything about themselves. It's just very short and narrow. And I find it really hard to go on from there as to finding out a bit more about them, basically. So if you've got any verbiage around that, I would love it.
You throw it back to them. You'd respond, but then you just keep asking the question till you drag it out of them. I reckon. If they go back to you going, so what are they responding to you, Tash?
Just really one-worded answers. Where's an example?
Some people are just difficult.
Yeah. And I do go back and ask the same questions. It just seems a bit awkward. Yeah, just really not wanting to give up anything. And I just kind of feel like I'm on a verbiage spiel and not really like getting to know them at all.
Has everybody got the, Tash, have you got the master asker questions?
Yeah, I do, yeah. I love them.
When people don't respond to me, I just get cheeky and just go, if I was you, would you? And just do that and just go, okay, cool. If you don't want it, you don't want it. If you want it, you want it. And I move on. I know that's no help for anyone out there, but I just kind of, someone has come back to me before.
Yeah, like Jana said, just keep asking the questions, and even if they give you one word answer, I guess you just got to ask another good question, get them to answer it, and then just, if they don't want to tell you much about themselves, just, like Jana said, you either want to connect to me or you don't. Or I mean, you can always just say, if I send the link, will you watch it? You never know, they might just be a bit shy. And then when they, once they watch the event, then you've got to get them in the three-way, and Jana or whoever is your upline, they're going to ask them again, what was it? What is it about the business that gets you interested? So either one way, you're going to get it out of them. And I mean, just let your upline know that they haven't really given you much to go off. If they still want it, I guess then you're going to learn more about them in conversation. But yeah, some people are just hard. Generally, if they're being like that, they're probably not even going to go much further. So
can I just
people that really want this, like, are going to reach out and actually want your help, so they're going to tell you what they're doing and what their situation is.
Yeah, cool.
Tash, and Chance, could it be that they're just quite personal people and quite private, and so you could empathise with them a little bit and say, listen, I kind of get the sense from your answers that you don't want to tell me too much, and I can understand that we don't know each other, but that's what this is like. I just heard what Jana said, this is all about connection for me, and that just sounded lovely. So maybe you could empathise with them, Tash, and just say, look, I get the feeling from your answers that you're trying to keep your cards close to your chest, and that's okay. I'm just here to kind of connect with people. I love getting to know people, and at the end of the day, there is no you're not signing your name in blood or anything, and it's just about, you were curious, I'm just trying to get to know how I can help you best, and maybe they're the kind of people that would prefer a face-to-face call, like a phone call or something. Would you be and you can ask them, feel like your short answers are difficult to get to know you, would it be easier if I gave you a ring? I can give you a call.
And Tash, you're not the only one that brings a three-way to me or to Stacey that doesn't know much about their person, because they've been trying to get it out of them. They've stalked their page. They've tried to connect with them. But you know what we're going to do in that three-way? Like Deb's just said, it might have been better to already have that chat yourself with them, but that's what we're going to do. That's now our job. We're going to try and ask them that question again, and then we're going to get them on the Zoom, hopefully, and then connect with them and really say, what could an extra $500 a month do for you? What really, what really got you interested in this? Is it, the connection? Is it the community? Is it the extra money? Is it the health journey? That'll be then, us really delving into them more. But, don't knock yourself around if they're not. We used that example earlier. Watch the recording on my page from the live today. Adam's extrovert versus Kira's introvert. Kira wouldn't have done this from day dot and responded to anybody just like that. Adam would have told him his whole story if he had time around his 12-hour job. But you know what I mean? So, it's going to be, think about you at the start. Would you want to hand over all your personal details out there? And who am I telling that I'm a mum of two, that I'm, that I work for DHS or whatever? I don't think I would have been pretty easy just handing that information over.
Yeah, cool. I can do empathy.
Good girl. Awesome. That it? No one else got anything for Jay or any of us? No. Are you all pumped for, staying qualified, getting qualified, winning that money with the team freestyle? I am. No.
Was that on training? I haven't seen training.
Oh my God!
Is there a new promotion?
So SDVF, you know how they were giving away for SDVF the last 2 months, so they've changed it to qualified. So there's two $250 bonuses for new qualifiers. So one for the qualifier and one for the upline, and then there's two 250 for, check it might be telling you wrong. There's two 250. There's four 250s altogether and one 500. $2,000 altogether.
Wow, that's
if,
awesome.
If they hit 600, that's if they hit 600, there's an extra lot. So 600 clubs times $50, guys. That's $30,000 just in clubs that Adam gets.
All right.
Just in clubs. Yeah.
For 1 month.
For 1 month. Yep. 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 So yeah, that's what Linda said. It's roughly $50 a club. So, and then plus all your other, you know, profit commission bonuses or whatever. And we all know that he's on about 80,000-90,000 a month. But that's where, you know, 30 of it comes from just having those 600 clubs underneath him. Oh, you didn't know that, Peter. There you go.
Yeah, obviously not. Look at Peter's face.
Yeah. Yeah, and then plus Kira, they make it. Yeah, they make a good 100
a month.
Yeah, yeah.
They make a good 100,000 a month, but definitely more between them.
Fuck.
Yeah, Kira's on about 60 now, and he's on about 90. So yeah. There you go.
A month.
A month.
We don't even make that a year in our household. Or maybe my husband might make that a year, but.
Go 4 years, Peter. You'll be making that.
Yeah.
Hey girls, before we go, is someone able to take a gallery shot? Like a photo, because I'm on my phone. Magda, look how beautiful you are. I just saw your pretty eyes. Yeah, is anyone able to take a gallery shot of all of us? Because I can only do like 4 at a time on my phone.
Jana's on the computer, I think.
Yes, I've got the main bit. Yeah, I do, don't I?
So everyone's got to smile.
Deb, can you take your earphones out? There's some noise going through your earphones.
There's what?
Am I the only one on the computer?
There's a really crackling noise through Deb's earphones.
Oh, sorry.
Whenever you talk, it's real crackly.
It's my earwax. All right, I'm going to take it out. Hang on.
Oh, I just get a pose on. What does it even go? Pee? No, isn't that that's what Lauren would do? Have us all doing. All right, I took about 8. Surely one of them will be right. Yeah, cool. I'll send that to you, Deb. You can post it. All right. Anyway, nothing else, girls. Well, it'll be me next week. We've got no idea yet. And then the week after, I'll be back to Jay, and Jay Linda's here again. So I'll probably just set you up from the event when Linda's here again, if that's all right. And because I'm going to go along and help her host that event, and Tasha's going, and Magda might go, Nina, well, we might be able to sneak in Nina. Yeah, so that's where I'll be probably next week, I reckon.
Still live on it still was.
Pardon? What?
Your Zoom? Are you still doing your Zoom tomorrow night?
Yeah, event. Yeah. We've got 4 launching tomorrow night.
3. One's pulled out. One's moved out.
Oh, have I not taken her off yet? I've got no. I think I've still got 4. Yeah. I've got a Samantha.
Do you want to end record, Jums?
What?
Do you want to end recording?
Oh yeah.